Today, I want to answer the question, what is a balloon payment in a land contract? Have you ever wondered if land contracts have balloon payments? By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear understanding of how balloon payments play a role into land contracts. You'll understand the advantages and the risks involved and strategies to navigate them successfully. Did you realize that a balloon payment could accelerate your path to home ownership in a land contract or put you at risk of losing it all if you're unprepared? Well, stay tuned as I dive into this world of balloon payments when it comes to land contracts by first helping you understand what a land contract is. Next, I'm going to explain balloon payments in the context of land contracts, and finally give you my take on balloon payments when you're dealing with land contracts, both buyers and sellers. If you're ready, let's go. So how does a land contract differ from a traditional mortgage? Well, a land contract is a seller financing agreement with terms that have been negotiated between the buyer and the seller. Because of that, many of the provisions in a land contract can vary, anything from interest rate, purchase price, periodic payments, who's responsible for maintenance and repairs or taxes and insurance. In contrast, mortgages are very structured. They're set up the exact same way, either 15 years or 30 years, and you know exactly what interest rate you're paying, when you're paying it, and all the stipulations associated with those payments and terms. With a land contract, the seller can set at their discretion the interest rate. And typically, interest rate is a little bit higher because the reason a buyer's entering into a land contract is probably because they're not the most creditworthy individual or cannot get traditional financing. In addition to all of this, in a traditional land contract, the seller retains the legal right of the property until the land contract is paid in full. So what is a balloon payment and what role do they play in land contracts? So a balloon payment is that final amount that is due on the loan that is structured in a series of smaller payments, and then at some point down the road that is agreed upon by both buyer and seller is a balloon payment, meaning a larger payment that is used to pay off the remaining balance of the loan. The early payments a lot of times consist of both principal and interest. They might only be interest payments, but with a balloon payment, it is paying off just the principal balance of the loan. So here's how a balloon payment works with a land contract. Number one, you have the agreement. This is where the buyer and seller agree on a land contract to purchase a real estate piece of property without a mortgage lender. Then there's going to be installment payments. These are periodic monthly payments that consist of both principal and interest, or sometimes just interest. And then the balloon payment is the last payment at the end of this agreement, where it pays off strictly and only the principal amount that is left. So here's a potential advantage and disadvantage of balloon payments. With a balloon payment, it gives the buyer the opportunity to get into a home with no money down utilizing land contract, and at some point down the road with that balloon payment, maybe it's 5 years down the road, it gives them the ability to build up their credit or to build up enough cash to pay off the balance of the loan. And traditionally, that balloon payment is paid off through a traditional bank loan. So if you're a buyer, you got into a land contract and you don't have the credit or the money, but over a 5-year period of time, you're able to build all of that up, you can go to a bank and say, listen, I owe this much left on this land contract. I'm looking to get a loan with this. There's equity in the home. The bank gives you traditional financing and you pay off that remaining principal balance as a balloon payment. And that speeds up the process of your home ownership, because instead of, say, a 30-year mortgage where you pay every month for 30 years to the seller, by getting a traditional financing and paying it off in the balloon payment with the loan from the bank, you now own the home outright. Now, obviously, the bank has first right on that because they're lending you the money. Essentially, they're securing that mortgage with the home, but a balloon payment is a great way to accelerate your home ownership in a land contract. Now, traditionally, what strategies are utilized with land contracts? It's a strategy called a slow flip. And a slow flip is a great strategy. And the way that it works, you as a real estate investor are taking private money to buy a home outright, and you're trying to get that home well below market value, 20 to 30%. And you are financing the private money lent to you as if it were a car on a 5, 6, or 7-year term. However, you're turning around and selling that property at market value on a traditional mortgage over a 30-year period of time. But you need the monthly payment coming in to you, and that's why you can charge more on a land contract, because you're dealing with somebody that can't get traditional financing, but the payment coming into you from the buyer that is now buying it from you at market value needs to be greater than the payment you're sending out to the private money lender. And if that all works out over the course of 5, 6, or 7 years, when that loan is paid off to the private money lender, you then have money coming in every single month for the next 23 to 25 years. And I love slow flips as a strategy. However, I believe that there's a superior strategy that I've come up with called cash flow flipping. And it is producing cash like crazy and helping me build wealth in real estate at a pace I've never seen before. And if you want to understand how to do cash flow flipping step by step, I've written a book. All you got to do is click on this link below, cashflowflipping.com. I'm giving my book away 100% free. Thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.